Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Sabrina Victoria, and this is Her Talk Show. I have Ashley Chamberlain with us today. I am so freaking excited. We're going to be talking about her company, which is funny because it's like good company. That kind of like
I
messed
love
me
it.
up a little bit.
Love it.
um, her company and just the journey of entrepreneurship. I think so often, especially now more than ever, being an entrepreneur is like glorified, like so much. And then you get in it and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
This is hard. This is like really hard.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive in. We're going to be talking all things her company and also just entrepreneurship in general. She's got some really good advice for us regarding hiring, which I'm really excited about because I think that is one of the things that we sometimes take way too long to do. We're kind of like floundering around. We can barely breathe because we're taking on so much stuff, and we're afraid to hire. And then when we do hire, we don't know how to hire. So I think that's going to be great too. So, ladies, get comfortable. We're going to explore some of the triumphs, some of the challenges faced by women worldwide. Ashley is here to offer some insights, some inspiration to fuel your professional growth. So let's jump in. All right. If you're listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We are here delving deep into the realms of health, wealth, and leadership with some of the most brilliant women globally. We've interviewed close to 700 women, and today we are adding another one to the list. We have Ashley Chamberlain. She's a visionary founder of Chamberlain and Good Company. She's dedicated to champion financial empowerment for small to mid-sized businesses through top-tier bookkeeping and fractional CFO services. With a master's in business administration and a passion for empowering others, Ashley embarked on her entrepreneurial journey to support her family and help others take control of their financial futures. Her mantra: let us mind your books so you can mind your business. I fucking love that. It's so fun. This reflects her commitment to simplifying financial management for entrepreneurs. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, so glad to be back.
Yes, thank you for being here. So appreciate it. And really excited to have this conversation. You know, I think sometimes we get into entrepreneurship and we don't even know. We don't even know what we're getting into. And the really awesome thing about having Ashley here is she works hand in hand with, small to mid-sized businesses that are going through this.
Yes.
They're going through the ups and the downs of the money part. And that's the part that actually keeps you in business. I can't even imagine some of the back ends of businesses that you see when you like first get on with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I get told you've probably never seen this, or I'm embarrassed to show you this because you've probably never heard this before. And I always respond the same way. I probably have. In the
Totally.
best ways. In the best ways.
Totally. I think we all start that way though. We're because there's so many different aspects to the business, the front end,
Yeah.
the front end and the back end of the front end of the business.
Yes.
And then, and then there's the whole money part and the taxes part. And that a lot of times people, like for me, I pay attention to what's coming in
Mhm. Yep.
more so than I pay attention to what's going out.
Which
Right.
makes
So yeah. So like, which it could be good, right? Because I'm just always like money in, money in, money in. But if you lose track of like the money out, you could go upside down real fast.
Well, yeah, and it should not be on one person to be in charge of the ins and outs. The incoming and outgoing expenses should not be held to one person. And when you start, it is you. You are the one person, and it can feel overwhelming. And I think that's where a lot of those it's lonely at the top, or being an entrepreneur, people call themselves a solopreneur. It's like you're putting yourself on a hill but alone, and that doesn't do you any justice. It makes it harder. So yes, I hear that all the time. Like, I need to know what's coming in and what's going out. I'm like, no, you don't though. You don't. It's overwhelming.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Love that. So when somebody is starting a business, let's start there. When somebody is first starting a business, right? First year in, do you have like the ideal, right? Because nobody's doing it with the step-by-step process unless there's some sort of like how to start a book for dummies that
Right.
somebody's reading from front to end. Which we know very well. They go out, buy that book, they read the first 5 pages, and then they're just like, fuck
Right.
it, let's just do some shit.
I'm gonna
So,
do my own thing.
yeah. So like ideally, like right, ideally for those starting, what should somebody be doing almost, definitely within the first six to 12 months to get their back end organized if they're not hiring someone like yourself right away?
Every industry and every person that I've ever worked with has asked me this question. I know, I
Okay.
know. But to that, I say every single answer is different because every industry has different requirements. Every person has their own capacity. So to every person, they get a different answer, but along the same lines, systems and processes will save you sanity. If you are a one-man show and you are just getting started, I can't tell you what that number will be, what that bottom line number or your take-home number will be when you'll feel comfortable enough to hire someone. Some people wait far too long because they're scared. No one can do it like me. How can I hire someone to be me? Well, you don't. You don't want to hire a person to be you. You want someone to complement you. So they take too long. There's no magical number, but you set up your systems and processes from the very beginning. Have a good business bank situation. And by that, have a relationship with your bank person. Don't just go online. A lot of people do this because it's fast and it's free, and I get it. They go online and they search free business checking. Cool. I've been there. I did that. I did that thing because I thought I want to do easy. But then I went into a bank and I had a relationship with my bank person, whether it's I don't remember what they call them now, but like customer service person in a bank. So that person grew with me. When I was at the point that I wanted to start running payroll, that person had a world of knowledge to help me decide what payroll company to use. That person opened up accounts for me over the phone because we had a relationship. When I said, I need a tax account, I need a savings account, I didn't have to figure that out on my own. I had her. So a good relationship with the bank person and good software setups. Automations are your friend. Have things running for you. If you are a one-man show and you want to be that way for a while, set those automations up and make them work for you. That has saved me so much time, even with a fully staffed team that we have now. Automations help our processes go smoother and they're more efficient.
What's some examples of some simple automations that are
Yeah. Yes.
necessary?
There are so many, right? There's
Okay.
AI is just all over the place in places you didn't even think to use it. So email automations are a big one for us. We use G Suite. So I have a team of all women, and we have had in almost 5 years in business, we've had 4 babies go through this business. And during that time, our clients don't know unless our team member tells them I'm about to have a baby until they get an automated email that says, I'm on maternity leave. Here's your next point of contact. If we didn't have those automations, simple out of office, that is an automation. They would not, they wouldn't know who to go to. And they would think my team member is just not responding. We also have out of business hours automations that help set those boundaries. The kind of businesses that we have today, people think it looks sexy to be available all the time. Like, it's not sexy, it's a burnout waiting to happen. Set those automations in place that hold your boundaries for you. So email automations is a really simple one to set up. If you use a CRM, almost every CRM has a simple automation. So for us, we use Go High Level, and it's very robust. It has a ton of different things we use for it. but we use it for payments, for invoices. Nothing feels more cringy than having to ask someone for money. Like, you don't want to have to ask, especially if it's past due. You feel for some reason like you're the bad guy asking for a payment for something you did. Have your automations be the bad guy. Set it up. If they're 1 day past due, it can be a nice automation. It doesn't have to be red letters, past due, you're going to jail. It can be nice. Hey,
Yeah.
sis, notice that you didn't pay your bill. How can I help?
Yeah.
But then you don't have to touch every single client. You have your automations doing it. So CRMs are a big one. Your accounting software, depending on what you're using, there are several. We use QuickBooks Online most frequently. There are automations in there that sometimes you can set up rules that if you have the same type of transactions coming in, you have for G Suite, we pay monthly. So when it comes in monthly, we have a rule set up that says categorize this to software dues subscriptions. So we're not manually having to go through that transaction every month. It automatically gets categorized. It makes our month end much easier. So there's just little things that you can set up in your accounting software, in your CRM, in your email, things like that, that can just save you so much sanity when you're trying to run a business.
I love this versus doing everything manually, having on a list of things to do on top of everything else that we're supposed to be doing. And then it falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
And then we're not doing it.
Yeah. And then sometimes people think, oh, I need to hire someone. I can't, it's a VA or an executive assistant. I'm not minimizing how absolutely just life-changing they can be in your business. I have an executive assistant. She is my right hand. But before I was ready for her, I needed some of those systems to do some of those tasks. I wasn't ready to bring on an assistant. Her name's Tiffany. She is the apple of my eye. I love her so much. I wasn't ready to bring her on because I wanted to pay someone well. I knew this was going to be a job that had a lot of different parts, tasks, things that were going to be needed, and they needed to be paid well, and I needed to be able to give that to them. Well, when I wasn't ready for them, I had to automate some of those tasks so I could build business to get to that point of hiring her. So sometimes you just need to build some systems before you hire.
Yeah, before you hire. Absolutely. And I think, the one thing that I really want to emphasize here is the early on part.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that I did, if I could go back, was I knew there was things that I could have done or could have been doing or should have been doing that I didn't. I just kept procrastinating it because no one wants to do all that. It makes my head hurt.
Boring.
And so putting it off until the business was so robust that now it's not putting it off. Now it literally is just I can't fucking do it.
I just have to.
Yeah. It's like you're drowning basically.
Yeah.
And all of the list of things to do. And then those were the things that could have saved me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not sexy, right? It's not fun. I mean, even as a person that works in the admin field, I do a lot of paperwork. It's still not fun to set up those systems. But the worst thing you can do is say, well, I'm going to hire someone and I'm going to put that stuff off. And I can't wait to hire a VA. And then you hire an amazing VA. It's your, yin your yang. And then you show her this big pile of shit that has accumulated that you have put off. And you say, fix it. Now, two things can happen. They're going to look at it and they're going to be like, I can't wait to dig into this pile of shit. This is going to be awesome.
Okay.
Or they're going to be like, absolutely not. This is chaotic and this is gross. I don't want to spend hours of my time cleaning up months of stuff that you should have had ready for me to take on. So getting it ready for someone to take over is just as important.
Yeah. That's funny. What that made me think of is when I watch those hoarder shows.
Yes.
There's people that love that shit. They're just so ready to dig into your hoard. They like get paid to do that, and they're just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
look at this. Oh, look at this." And then there's other people that would go to that house and be like, "Yeah, no,
I'm not doing that. I'm not
I'm
touching
not
it.
doing that."
No, I'm
It's
not
like
touching
2
it.
totally different
No.
people.
And we get it too. Like we get a lot of cleanup projects. And so cleanup projects for us is someone that didn't set up systems, that
Yeah.
have no accounting software. They don't even have a spreadsheet. And they are a year into their business and they're making great money, we think. But how do we know? Because they haven't been keeping track of any records, no spending or receiving money. And so they come to us and they say, I've been in business for a year and I think it's time for me to start doing bookkeeping. Now, we're going to try to help, but I'm going to tell you, behind the scenes, we're like, what is this person doing? How are they operating a business? They don't know what they've made at all. Sometimes it's a happy surprise and we're like, oh, girl, you're killing it. You are right. You are making great money. Most of the time, though, we're like, oh, shoot, you're spending so much money on these things. And we didn't know that because it took us 6 months to clean up your books when you could have been doing this from the beginning. So it's just little habits. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. We always say, just start it with a spreadsheet. Start it with a notebook. Just write it down. You are not going to remember what $10 you spent 6 months from now. You're probably not going to remember 3 months from now. So just do yourself a favor, just write it down.
Yeah.
Little things.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I got in the habit of in 2017 was keeping track of the daily.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I tell people that and they're like, "Oh, that's so meticulous." Oh, it's not even necessary. It's not even necessary to know how much you're making per day or how much you're spending per day. But I had come from such a money lack,
Sure.
and I was like refusing to stay in that story, like not doing this anymore. So how can I better myself? Like, how can I alleviate this story that I've been in for this long?
Yeah.
I took control of my finances. I literally just took
Yes.
control of my money and tracked everything every day, not weekly, not monthly, every single day, money in,
Yeah.
money out. And I can't even tell you from 2017 till today, the increase is just absolutely insane because I'm
Yeah.
holding myself accountable to dailies, ins and outs, by hand, girl, by hand,
I love it.
old school, by hand.
Yeah.
I just this year finally got my spreadsheet. This year, 2025, got my spreadsheets on the computer. Um,
Beautiful.
but yeah, but to Ashley's point, just anything,
Yeah.
even if it's in a notebook, and I can say that from personal experience, it makes a world of difference when you know what's going on in your business.
Just start. It's I because I deal with numbers all day long, for me, I am not looking at that number every day. I actually don't even do my own books anymore because it was the mindset. I was too controlling and I was stressing myself out if I didn't see certain numbers. So now I have a team member that does our firm's books, and she has an automated financial statement that comes from QuickBooks every single week. So I look at it weekly. It's our profit and loss statement, our P&L, and it's sent to me on the weekends, and I don't open it until about Sunday evening, and I just look at the bottom number and I think, all right, we're okay. And I have a number in mind that I want to see, but I don't. People have different capacities. Some people want to see it every day. Some people want to see it once a month. The people that say I don't want to see it at all, sorry, like that's financially irresponsible. You shouldn't be in control of everything. You shouldn't be the only one bringing money in. You shouldn't be the only one spending. But you need to know what your numbers are to make good, healthy decisions. So for me, it's once a week. That makes me feel like, check, got it. I also know what amount of money needs to come in every month to be able to spend wisely. So when we do have things that come up, the holidays are coming up. I love buying, I think it's my love language. I love buying gifts for my team. I just sent out a round of boo baskets. I made sure they got it before Halloween. Makes me feel good. I want to see what that bottom line number is to make sure I can buy them Christmas presents. Can I buy them boo baskets? The unexpected things, not just, oh, we're making money, we're not in the red. Like, no, I'm going to spend some money. Am I okay? I need to look at that once a week. Everybody else, look at it at least once a month. You have to know.
Yeah. When should somebody think about hiring a company like you?
So I've seen both sides. I've seen where people say I'm about to start a business and I want to go ahead and hire and start from the beginning. That's not common, I will say, because most of the time you're not starting a business with money. That is a rare, blessed, if you will, situation. It's usually about 6 months in where people feel like, all right, I am consistently making money and I know how much money I am at least bringing in. That's when people start reaching out to us. When I always say, know who your bookkeeper is going to be. So if you're thinking of starting a business or you just started a business, start interviewing people, start meeting companies. It doesn't have to be us. It can be a wife, it can be a husband, it can be a friend, but know who you want to at least have on your team. And look at that person just like you would hire a team member. When I go to hire someone, one thing I learned, as we talked about before, is firing people sucks. Firing people is the absolute worst. So to get ahead of that, I try and hire people for the person, not just the role. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately. I kept trying to fill this role. I needed an assistant. I really wanted to hire for an assistant. And I went through several because I realized, what am I doing? It's not working. So I hired the person, and I say, look at your bookkeeper the same way. Hire your bookkeeper for someone you can get along with, someone you feel comfortable talking to, because you're going to be talking about pretty intimate things. You're going to be opening up, your books, and you're going to have to be vulnerable. So around 6 months, it looks different for everybody depending on your industry. But when you start feeling like, oh, I gotta do all my bookkeeping this weekend, or I'll do it at the end of the month, it's fine. And it takes you hours. You probably are closer than you think to outsourcing your books, just because that's the last thing you want to do. And that's why people get tax scaries, just like Sunday scaries. People get the tax scaries. End of the year, people think, oh my gosh, it's getting close to filing my taxes. I haven't looked at my books in months. You should probably talk to some bookkeepers. At least have people on your radar.
Yeah. As far as individuals who are embarrassed, nervous about starting to have that conversation, it kind of reminds me of I have this conversation a lot with publishers, people who publish people's books.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest issues is they know they need to be working with somebody, but to like show somebody that intimate part of like their writings is very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, is it dumb? Is it stupid? Does it make sense? Am I a horrible writer?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of fear in that. And that's a lot of times, because I talk to publishers a lot too,
Mhm.
what keeps people from publishing is the whole editing part, like to
Sure.
show somebody the side of them and to have them judge it and look at it and
Yeah.
dissect it. It's like scary.
Yeah.
So what are some, I guess, reasons to get over it?
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
I know you mentioned like there's really nothing that I've never seen before, so that helps, right?
Yeah, and that's not it. I mean, I don't want to minimize how scary it can feel. I tried to explain this to my husband because he's like, "Why do people care? It's just money." And I'm like, "Oh, child, so much goes into that statement. It feels like you are stripping down naked in front of a stranger. Like
Yeah.
equivalent. Sometimes people would rather strip down naked than show their financials. People feel like the money is attached to their worth or their business knowledge. If they are not spending wisely or they don't actually know their numbers, there's this feeling of, and I've heard people say this, it's what's kept them from talking to an accountant. If I'm not doing well financially, if I'm not bringing in the money or spending wisely, I must not be good at business. And I always counter that and say those two things are not necessarily connected, because you could be a killer writer and you could be a killer salesperson. You could just be the expert in your field, but the financials is not connected to how you perform your job. That is part of a business. It's not your whole business. So if I get a lot of creatives that are attracted to us. And so you got to think these are the artists, these are the tattoo artists, these are the hairstylists, these are the jewelry makers. And so when we get on a sales call, they're like super creative and they're like, I just love making jewelry and I love, painting, these canvases and everything, but I have no idea about the financials. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. You were not told how to run your business. We were not taught how to run your business. You had a skill and you just did the scarier thing, in my opinion, and started the business. So it is scary. I don't minimize that. I know how vulnerable it can feel. Just that's why hiring someone you can talk to is so important. It's more important than, oh, they have all these credentials, or they've worked with top clients. They have high rolling clients, so they must be good at their job. Sure, maybe that works for some people. I think, can you talk to this person? Because that's the most important thing. You guys are opening up to this person and you have to feel comfortable for the good, bad, and ugly, because it's going to happen. So, and we're a vibe hire, if you will. How do you feel when you talk to us? Do you feel okay? All right, good. Now let's talk about the stuff that might feel a little embarrassing and we'll get through it.
Yeah, that's good. Definitely some reassurance, because, when you're dealing with that, there's a lot of like relinquishing of control.
Yeah.
And then you hear all these stories all the time of just like people siphoning money off the top,
Oh, sure.
Stealing,
Yeah.
and that's highlighted in the news sometimes. So it's like on top of all the fear we have just ourselves, topple that on top of it. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
no wonder,
A lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's scary. We have seen more hacking and fraud in the past couple of years than I've seen my entire accounting career. And it's because people are getting really good at being bad people. And so trusting your accountant is scary, especially in an online world. Our firm is completely virtual, but that's why we try and set up these things in place to make people feel more comfortable. We always meet on video. Make sure we're real people. Talk to us. Check our website out. We'll give you references. We have a list of clients that we work with that say, yeah, I would be happy to talk to someone about you. Talk to our references. We have VPN set up. So a VPN is a more secure way to log in and look at financials. And so we have a VPN that our team logs in. It stores passwords, it stores bank information. No one can get in without a password from the outside world in. So there are things set up to give you more reassurance. It just comes down to you taking the first step and opening up your books.
I love that. As far as working with you directly, or your company directly, who should be working? Do you work with like all small to mid, or is there like a certain niche that you kind of prefer to work with? Like, who should be reaching out to you?
So it's funny that you asked me this question in our first interview, and it's changed so wildly. I was watching our first interview and I was like, wow, that was so cute. So cute of us. And so I was thinking I need to update that. When we first started opening up our, books, we can help anybody, especially the trades, because my CFO and I come from construction accounting. So we thought, of course, we would work with the trades, the plumbers, the electricians, the general contractors. We speak their language. That's why our logo has a bandsaw on it. Most people think we're a lumber company. We were very misguided. We thought we have to work with people that we can, yeah, we've worked with you before. What we have learned in our 5 years of business is we work best with women leaders, with women life coaches. We have a public speaker, writers, the creators, like I mentioned, the hairstylist, the tattoo artist. For some reason, there is something that happens, magical, that happens on a call where they feel seen And we don't have to talk the trade talk. We just get on and they're like, oh, something about this call made me feel so much better. And that's the goal. We get off the call, I can visibly tell their shoulders have gone down. They look lighter and they're smiling. So the women leaders, and it can be, a world of industries in that, but the women leaders really, I feel like we can provide much more than just good, clean books.
Dude, I love that. If someone wants to book a call with you,
book a call. We have a beautiful website. We are going through a rebrand, but our website is the best because of the bandsaw, right? The bandsaw. We have yay, there it is. Chamberlainandgoodcompany.com. There's so much information on there, but right there when you go to that first page, you book a strategy call. That's a call with me. We're going to find out what you need. Can we help you? Sometimes my CFO will get on to me because she's like, you have got to stop telling people like you can do this yourself. But I will tell you, if we get on that call and I feel like you can do something yourself, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to educate and make sure that you feel like you truly need someone to help versus I think you can do this yourself. So our website's a good place. We're on all the social media platforms, but this is kind of a good place to get to know us.
Yeah, I really like that. I was just on a sales call right before getting on this interview with you, and that was one of the things that I tell my ladies a lot when you're talking to a potential customer. You always want to give them the option to do it themselves.
Sure.
As far as selling, how to sell, how to promote. Like you always want one of the options to be, hey,
right,
you can do this yourself.
Yeah,
this is what you would do. This is what it would look like. This is the platform you should use.
Yeah.
It's fairly simple. Follow the 1, 2, 3 steps that they give you. If you don't want to do it yourself, well then, I can give you an estimate of what it would cost for us to do it.
Right.
So I love that. I love that you're doing that. Absolutely.
You might surprise yourself. It's we always send a follow-up email after a sales call, and we always put options in there because I don't know about you, but when I get on sales calls that I'm the consumer and I feel like there's one option, sign or don't sign, I'm like, oh, it takes me so much longer to decide versus here's 3. You want to do it yourself? You want us to kind of help you through it, or do you want us to do all of it? People need you to give permission to say you might be able to do it. And here's how you can do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. On your website, it says our clients save over 20 hours of work per month.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's half more
because this says 20 hours of work, but ladies, we have to recognize the amount of time spent thinking about the work before we do the work.
Yes. We should update that number too.
The amount of time I think about my procrastinating of the work before I do the work is like fucking double.
Yeah. It's so much more.
Honestly, I'm like in the shower thinking of it. I'm driving. I'm thinking of it. I'm putting notes in my notes, thinking of it.
Yes. Task reminders in your phone, like don't forget to do this thing. And you just keep moving it to the next day.
Absolutely. Yeah. So she has tons of testimonials on here. And then she has the certain things that she does, the bookkeeping, the accounting, tax preparation, payroll. So check out her website. It is at, let me put it back on screen. It is at chamberlainandgoodcompany.com. It isn't a clickable link in the description below, wherever you're listening to us at. So go ahead and check that out. This has been great.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love that this was like a part 2.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool too, because Ashley and I have both been growing our businesses, since we last talked. So it's also just really nice kind of seeing, like before we jumped on screen, she's like, it's so interesting just seeing how your podcast has evolved.
Yes.
Different things, the emails, the look of it, the feel of it has changed over the last few years. So that's one of the really awesome things about staying in community, ladies. Speaking of community, let me do a little plug for H Club. But, being in a community and getting to see businesses grow right along with you and just reminiscing of like, dude, I remember when, and being able to see that growth. And it also encourages us to grow, right? When we're seeing somebody else grow, we're like, it's a reminder to us of like, dude, they're freaking just a normal person. They're growing their business. Like, what
Right.
is my hold up? And it kind of keeps us in line, keeps us accountable to each
100%.
other to make sure we're all taking steps together. So this is great. And, Ashley and, the Chamberlain and Good Company services, right, is a service you can use to get to that next step. So
Yes.
as you're growing your business, as you're evolving, as you're bringing on more clients, as you're bringing on more money to pay for the services from Ashley, this is a company, right, that would benefit you in the growth of your business. So you're taking all of that weight off your shoulders, so that you can continue to do whatever it is you do best, which for most of us isn't our motherfucking books.
No. Never is. That's never someone's best work. So
exactly. Most people don't go into business because they're like, ooh, I just want to do the books.
I can't wait to look at my transactions. Like, no, never.
Most people are not doing that. Very cool. Well, this has been great. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Closing thoughts. I am going to do a shameless plug of my own. I am so grateful to be able to look back at our first podcast and to look back and look to this one and say how much we have both grown, matured business-wise, and how exciting it feels to hop on a podcast like this as a guest with a friend and not have the scaries in my stomach. So I encourage anyone that feels like they're lonely or being an entrepreneur is, oh my gosh, how do you make friends? It's like, you make friends with people doing the same thing that you're doing because they get it. And the H Club gets that and you get that. So I'm just extremely grateful to be on this again.
Yes. Yes. Always a pleasure. All right. To those of you listening live, thank you so much for being here all the way to the end. For those of you watching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay in the comments wherever you're at so we can show you some love in the comments. Let us know what you loved about this show right here. Thank you, Ashley, for being here, inspiring us, taking us on a little road trip down the entrepreneurial lane. Remember to follow, like, and share to our listeners. And once again, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I'm the host here at Her Talk Show, and I want to invite you, as I always do, to join our amazing community, Her Nation Global. This is where we continue to uplift each other as women business owners every single day, every step of the way.